Welcome to Film Talks, produced by AI at Studio 86. We're diving right in today, folks, into something I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. How to really understand the return on investment of video content. You know, that ROI everyone keeps talking about. As we head into 2025, it's getting more crucial than ever.
Absolutely. You're putting a ton of effort into video, right? From
Mm.
brainstorming those initial concepts all the way to the final edits. It's a big investment. And naturally, you want to make sure that investment is paying off, not just getting you views, but actually contributing to your business goals in a concrete way.
Couldn't agree more. I bet a lot of you listening out there are facing this very challenge. How do you actually measure that ROI? Especially with all these different platforms and video formats out there, you're seeing the likes, the shares, but the big question is, how do those translate into tangible results for your bottom line? That's the tough part.
And that's exactly what we're tackling in this deep dive. Our mission is to give you a simpler, clearer way to measure how your video content is performing across the board, from the moment you hit record to hopefully when it helps you actually convert a customer. This is especially for those of you in the trenches, marketing managers, content strategists, and business leaders who need to move beyond just hoping their videos are working.
Yeah, you've got to see the beta. View counts alone, they just don't cut it anymore. It's 2025, folks. Video is a serious business driver. It's building your brand awareness, engaging potential customers, generating those valuable leads, and ultimately, it's got to be growing your revenue. And you need to be able to track how effectively it's doing all of that.
You're right on the money. The whole way we use video has transformed. It's not just a standalone piece of content anymore. It's woven into the entire customer journey. So to really grasp its impact, you've got to look at the bigger picture. How is video impacting those different stages, from when someone first discovers your brand all the way through to that moment when they actually make a purchase?
Okay, so where do we even start with all this? It can get a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
It all starts with clarity. You have to define what you're trying to achieve with a specific video or even a whole video campaign. Are you aiming to just get your brand out there in front of more eyeballs? Or are you looking to generate a steady stream of fresh leads for your sales team? Maybe you're focused on driving direct sales of your product or services. Or perhaps it's about providing more effective education for your existing customer base. Whatever it is, the metrics you track have to directly reflect those objectives. So if your goal is brand awareness, for example, while views are still part of the equation, you'll want to dig a little deeper. Look at things like how often your brand is being mentioned in relation to the video, or analyze the overall sentiment around it. Are people saying positive things? Are they actually remembering your brand name?
Right. So if my main goal is lead generation, then I should be laser focused on things like how many people are clicking those calls to action in my videos, or how many viewers are actually taking that extra step and filling out a form on my landing page, the one that's conveniently linked in the video description.
Exactly. And that's where having the right tracking and attribution systems in place becomes absolutely essential. You need to be able to connect the dots to see that someone watched your video and then took a specific action afterward. This might involve using UTM parameters in your links, making sure your video platform is talking to your your customer relationship management system, or using more sophisticated analytics tools, the kind that can paint a clearer picture of what your viewers are doing after they finish watching your content. It's all about those next steps.
Makes sense. Now, what about measuring actual engagement, going beyond just counting views? What are some key metrics to keep an eye on in that department?
Watch time is a huge one. Are people actually sticking around? Or are they bouncing after the first few seconds? Most video platforms have these audience retention graphs. They visually show you exactly where viewers are dropping off. This can give you some incredible insights into what's working and what might need a little tweaking in your content. And then beyond just watch time, look at the direct engagement actions, the likes, the comments, the shares. These are powerful signals that your content is truly hitting the mark with your target audience.
Okay, I'm following you. But the million-dollar question, the big ROI question, is how do we tie all of this back to actual revenue? That's what everyone wants to know.
It is. And that often involves more advanced tracking methods. Now, if your video leads directly to a sale, say you have a product demonstration video with a clear purchase link, you can track those conversions fairly easily and directly attribute that revenue to that specific video. It's a beautiful thing. But for businesses with longer sales cycles, it gets a bit more complex. You want to focus on how your video content influences leads as they move through your sales funnel. Did they watch a particular explainer video right before requesting a demo? Did a customer testimonial video give them that extra nudge they needed to finally make that purchase? These are the connections you want to make.
So in essence, it's about creating a roadmap that connects your video content to the different stages a potential customer goes through before making that purchase. And then the key is consistently tracking the most relevant metrics at each of those stages. Does that sound right?
Exactly. You got it. And remember, it's not just about those immediate direct conversions. Think about the value video can bring in other less obvious ways. For instance, maybe your explainer videos are so good that they actually reduce the number of supporting queries your team has to deal with, because people finally understand those complex product features. Or maybe your behind-the-scenes content is so engaging that it builds stronger customer loyalty, connecting with your audience on a whole new level. These may not be direct revenue generators, but they still have a huge impact on your overall return on investment.
Let's make this even more concrete. Let's say we have a series of helpful explainer videos that live on our company website. So in this case, we should be looking at how long people are watching those videos. Are they then clicking through to our product pages? And ultimately, are those visitors who watch the videos more likely to become paying customers compared to those who didn't?
That's a perfect example. You can really leverage your website analytics to track user behavior and even segment your audience based on what they're watching. You can also try experimenting with different placements of your videos, testing out different calls to action within them, what we call A/B testing. All of that can provide valuable insights and help you fine-tune your content for conversions.
This approach makes so much more sense than just fixating on the number of views. It's about understanding how video strengthens your entire marketing and sales process. It's an integral part of the machine.
Absolutely. And as we head further into 2025, this strategic mindset is going to be even more essential. The platforms are going to keep evolving. The technology is going to keep advancing. You'll have increasingly sophisticated tools and methods for tracking and accurately attributing the true value of your video efforts. It's exciting, but you've got to stay ahead of the curve.
So the big takeaway here is that video marketing in 2025 is about so much more than just telling great stories, though that creative aspect will always be important, of course. It's about establishing a solid strategy and focusing on those success metrics that demonstrate real business value.
The key is shifting your thinking. It's no longer about how many views did we get. It's about asking, what value did this video create for our business? That's the question that matters.
Thanks for joining us today on Film Talks, produced by AI at Studio 86. If this conversation has given you some clarity, some actionable insights, pass it along. Share it with your team, your colleagues. Spread the knowledge.
And if you're ready to stop guessing and start creating video content that delivers real ROI, well, you know where to find the experts at Studio 86.
We encourage all of you to think critically about how you can make that shift in your own work. Move away from those simple consumption numbers and focus on the meaningful business outcomes. That's where the real magic happens. Until our next deep dive, folks.